Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. To get into this, I wanted to talk to you guys about precipitated withdrawal, and I did not post this video last week because I did not feel like I had researched it well enough to be able to make a quality video about it, and just wanted to be able to take a little bit more time, put a little bit more research into it so I could give you guys some more information and have more quality resources and reference points than what I had to begin with. I have a lot of lived experience when it comes to addiction and recovery, going through withdrawal, and things of that nature. But I don't like to just base my videos off of my personal lived experience. I also like to go in and do research. So you guys will have articles that I can link down in my description box below. So you guys can do further research if you want to. So before we get into this, I do just want to give a little disclaimer and let you know that even though I do have a lot of lived experience, like I said earlier, and if you know anything about me, been following my journey at all, I was in active addiction for 14 years. However, I am not a medical professional. I'm not giving you medical advice. My goal with this channel and with any video that I make is just to kind of provide people a starting place to start, their own research. If they are going through their own substance use disorder, if they have a loved one, friend, family member, anything like that, or if you're just wanting to know more about it. I'm just trying to give you guys like a kickoff place and to put more information out there, because there's a heck of a lot of stigma out there about substance use disorder and mental health issues and recovery and everything in between. But as far as actual knowledge and stuff like that, you got to dig a little bit farther to find the actual knowledge and what I call the good stuff about it instead of just the stigma. You know, it's real easy to find all the bad stuff about addiction and recovery and all the stuff that goes along with it, but it's not as easy to be able to put your finger on the ways to handle it and all of that stuff. So that's the aim of my channel and my social media. But that being said, I'm in no way a doctor or a nurse or anything like that. So please don't take it as such. Anything that I say, if it's from a certain article or anything like that, like I said, I'll link it in my description box below. But I highly encourage you, if it's you going through it, if it's a loved one going through it, talk to your doctor about it, talk to your nurse practitioner about it, whoever it is that you are speaking with in the medical field about. Always, to me, that's just common sense, but I always feel like I need to tell people that, this isn't medical knowledge that I'm handing out here on the channel, just my lived experience, a little bit of knowledge that I want to pass on to you guys, Anyway, getting on to the video. So what is precipitated withdrawals? And is it different than regular withdrawals? And I say regular like this because withdrawal is not a regular thing that a physical body should have to go through or goes through. Number one, yes, it is different than what a regular quote unquote withdrawal is from opiates. Precipitated withdrawal is what happens if a medication assisted treatment is given to you while you still have opiates in your system. So if you would take something like Suboxone, Vivitrol, naltrexone. I always have trouble saying that word, so y'all bear with me while I say that. I'm probably mispronouncing it wrong. I have trouble with words sometimes. But if you would take something that is considered, a maintenance treatment while you still have opiates in your body, if you do that, it's going to put your body into a precipitated withdrawal. And precipitated withdrawals are accelerated, rapid, very intense withdrawal. So it's like withdrawal from opiates that you would normally have on steroids. And withdrawal that you normally have from opiates, if you've been using long enough to be addicted to them so that your body would have to go through withdrawals are horrendous. It is one of the worst things physically that I've ever gone through. And precipitated withdrawals is that times 10. And it's so much worse because it hits you very rapidly. Sometimes within literal seconds, it can hit you depending on what medication you put in your body, or is administered to you. It depends. Sometimes it can take longer than that, but depending on what medicine is administered to you, it can hit you within seconds. And it's very intense. The nausea is intense, the sweating. Sometimes you'll run a fever, vomiting, diarrhea. Like, you get all the withdrawal symptoms, and it's literally like they are on steroids. So it's way worse than what your regular withdrawal symptoms are. That's what makes it different from regular. I wish I could think of another word to use for that, but that's what makes it so different from the withdrawal that you would go through if you were just like detoxing yourself, or if you went somewhere and had a detox. I did read in quite a few articles that there are places that will do like a rapid medical detox, and they purposely put you in precipitated withdrawals because it is a very fast way to get all the opiates out of your body. It's very painful and not a very pleasant way to have it done. So most of the articles that I read that mentioned, rapid detox did say that a lot of places weren't doing that anymore because, it's just not a very nice way, for lack of a better way to say that. But, withdrawal is a horrible experience to go through, and you don't want to make it worse. And purposely putting someone through precipitated withdrawals is just not a good way to go. To me personally, making withdrawals worse than they need to be would be a massive trigger for me. It would just make me want to leave the facility and go back out and use. And for addicts, that's a big thing. That's a big relapse point for them for withdrawals. I know for me personally, at the very end of my active addiction, that was my biggest roadblock to stepping from active addiction into recovery, was knowing that I was going to have to go through those withdrawals. And for a lot of people that suffer with substance use disorder, a lot of people, that's what keeps them, stuck in that in between. They don't want to be stuck in their active addiction anymore, but that just the fear of going through that withdrawal, because when you're right in the middle of it and you're going through it, even though you know that there is an end to it, when you're right in the middle of it and you're going with no sleep and you can't keep any food in your body, and you are completely and utterly miserable, it doesn't matter that there is an end to it. It's hard to see the end, if that makes any sense. You would think that that would keep a lot of people from going back to using again, but it's also it kind of works the opposite way, because when we are that sick, we know that if we can just use, it will take it away. And it literally works that quick. When you are sick and going through withdrawal, the minute you put that substance back in your body, well, not the minute, but it's pretty close. If you're going through withdrawal and you are dope sick, because that's what they call it, and you put whatever your DOC is back in your body, whatever that substance is that your body is craving, and all those receptors in your brain are going crazy because they don't have it anymore. You put it back in your body and it lays over those receptors again, and your brain starts telling your body that it's okay. I mean, the relief is almost instant. And a lot of it is mental, but a lot of it is physical. A lot of it is mental because we tell ourselves, our brain is telling us, okay, you're okay now, you're okay now, you're okay now. So that's a lot of it. But for the rapid detox, I can't imagine. That takes some balls is is all I will say, to willingly put yourself through that and know that you're going to go into a clinic or, a hospital, and know that they're going to put you through that as part of your recovery pathway. My hat's off to anybody that's ever done that and, gotten through it successfully. I personally don't think that I would have ever been able to do that as part of my recovery pathway, put myself through those withdrawals, especially precipitated withdrawals, because they are so much worse. Withdrawals, like I've said a million times now in this video, are horrible. Precipitated withdrawals are so much worse. And it's because they, are so much more intense. And precipitated withdrawals can last anywhere from 30 minutes to days at a time. And it all depends on what the substance is that was put in your body that caused you to go into precipitated withdrawals. And the shortest one, 30 minutes, can actually be from Narcan. So if you are experiencing an overdose and someone administers Narcan to you, and this is why I always tell people to stay with someone. I always tell people, stay with whoever you administer that Narcan to, because Narcan only stays on those receptors in your brain for 30 minutes. And after that Narcan jumps off of that receptor, if there are a lot of opioids in your body, they can reattach to those receptors that are in your brain, and you can overdose again. So that is the shortest one that I know of. There may be something else out there that jumps off quicker than Narcan, but I don't know of it. If there is, you guys leave me a comment in the section down below if there's something that goes off quicker than that. But that's the shortest one that I know of. In all the articles that I read, most of them, surprisingly enough, said that precipitated withdrawals only lasted about a day. And I say surprisingly enough because I have talked to a lot of people that are still in active addiction, and they have unknowingly and very unwillingly put themselves into precipitated withdrawals by taking a maintenance medicine that they bought, off of the street. And they took it to prevent themselves from going through withdrawal, not necessarily because they were ready to start a recovery pathway, but just to prevent those regular withdrawals. And they took it too soon. And they were unable to get their regular dose of whatever their DOC was. So they stayed in that period of precipitated withdrawals. I've actually talked to a lady that stayed in precipitated withdrawal for quite a while. There's a lot of factors that go into, how long it lasts, because it depends, just like everything in substance use disorder or addiction, however you want to say it, and your recovery pathway. A lot of it depends on how high your tolerance is, how high your dependence is, how much you have in your body. If you have a lot in your body, then it's going to take a lot to counteract that. So, it's just, there's a lot of factors that go into it. A lot of people want to know if it can be dangerous. And I was kind of surprised that I couldn't find more definitive information about saying, yes, PW could be dangerous, or no, it couldn't be dangerous. To me, anytime someone that is that is dealing with substance use disorder, anytime you are going through withdrawal, no matter where you are in your journey, that has the potential to be dangerous to me, because withdrawal takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot out of you emotionally and mentally, but that takes a lot out of you physically. So when you start going through withdrawal, and when you go through it and it's heightened, and it's very intense, when you start going through withdrawal, one of the very first symptoms that people report having and that I personally had was my depression. And even people that don't suffer from depression on a regular basis, I have major depressive disorder, so it's something that I've had all my life. But people that don't suffer from depression on a regular basis, normally if they go through withdrawal, you suffer from a period of depression. And when you go through PW, it's worse. So that puts you at danger right there. That's the mental and emotional part of it. And that's a dangerous thing to me. The physical part of it, you can very easily become dehydrated. I mean, and the last thing you're thinking about is, are you drinking enough water? If you are having diarrhea and you're vomiting, you're not going to be trying to put food in your body. And when we're in active addiction, that's low on our list of priorities anyway. We don't care if we're eating or not, unless, there's always a rare case, high functioning addicts. Yeah, we eat. I was a high functioning addict, so I could eat and, maintain the facade that I had a normal life. But it's very low on our priority list to make sure that our bodies are healthy and well maintained. And when you start going through any period of withdrawal, it's just heightened. So even though I couldn't find definitive, yes, PW is dangerous, I say yes. That's just my opinion. So you can, take it or leave it. To me, like I said, anytime your body is going through a period of withdrawal, if you're in active addiction and you're going through withdrawal, if you decide to, that you're ready for your pathway of recovery, whatever that may be, and you are going to have to go through those withdrawals, whether you're white knuckling it, no matter what way you decide to do it, that can be a dangerous period in your life. And that's why I always tell people, don't do this alone. This is not something that you want to do alone. It can be very taxing on your body physically, but it's also very hard on us mentally and emotionally. And it's just not something that we're built for to go through alone. So, just don't do it alone. Reach out. That's what people like me are here for. With withdrawal, there is really no way to alleviate the symptoms or to stop it. Now, with PW, if you're doing it in a controlled environment, like if you are going to a maintenance clinic and you are not truthful with them about the last time that you used, or if you are truthful with them, but your body is holding on to more than what you realize. You know what I mean? So if you tell them, I haven't used for 2 days, and you go in for your intake appointment and they dose you, but you just, you can't tell what your body is holding on to and what it's not. That's why they always tell you, be honest with us. Like, that's why they're telling you that. They're not telling you that at the maintenance clinic, the methadone clinic, the Suboxone clinic. They're not wanting you to come in there and be in withdrawals to be mean to you. They're not. And I know that it seems like that, but that's not the case at all. They're wanting you to come in there and be, X amount of hours, X amount of days without your drug of choice for reasons. And it's for medical reasons. And one of the medical reasons is because they don't want to put you in precipitated withdrawal. They know that if they do that to you, it's going to make you feel 1,000 times worse. And they don't want to do that. Their goal is to make you feel better. Their job is to make us feel better and to get us level-headed and, clear so that we can focus on our recovery. And we cannot do that if we're sick. So they don't want to put us in precipitated withdrawals, and they know that if we come in there and we just used that morning or the day before, and they give us our maintenance medicine, that we are going to get sick as dogs, and they don't want to do that to us. So the biggest way to avoid PW is timing. Really, if you are going to a maintenance clinic, you have to be honest with them. And I mean brutally honest with them. And just remember that if you are going to any type of clinic like that, methadone, Suboxone, Subutex, if you're in an area that will give you Vivitrol, whatever that option may be, just be honest with them. They are there to help you. And they deal with people that are in active addiction all day, every day. They really want to see us do better. They love to see patients turn their lives around and do better. So just be honest with them. If you're not honest with them, they can't help you. Just like any other recovery pathway, if you're not being honest about it, it's not going to work. But the timing, because if you are going to be on, if you're going to take naltrexone, you have to be opioid free for 7 to 10 days. And that's a long time to white knuckle withdrawals. But if you are going to be on that, you have to be opioid free for 7 to 10 days. If you're switching from methadone to naltrexone, you have to be methadone free completely. So you have to detox completely off of your methadone, and that usually takes about 2 weeks. If you have short-acting opioids, it's usually around 12 to 24 hours. If it's a long-acting opiate, it's usually 24 to 48 hours. But it varies, and that's why I said what I said at the beginning of this video. Always, always, always talk to your doctor about this, because they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you what they expect from you. They're going to tell you, you tell them what you use, when you use it, the frequency, etc. When you call to make your appointment, they're going to want to know what you use, and just be honest with them, because they're asking you that so they can tell you how long you need to wait before you can come in. And they're not telling you that to be mean. They're telling you that to keep you from going into PW when they bring you in to do your intake, and then they dose you, because they don't want to make you sicker than what you're already going to be. Timing is the biggest way to avoid it. Now, like I said earlier in the video, I accidentally did it to myself when I was in active use, because I learned very quickly when I was in active addiction that there were maintenance drugs out there that people use for recovery that I could buy off the streets, that if I ever ran out of my supply, that I could take, and they would keep me from going through withdrawals. I didn't know that there was a time period that I had to wait between my last opiate use and when I took the maintenance drugs. So I took them too soon. I put myself in precipitated withdrawal, and I was friggin' miserable. So lesson learned. And that's why I say, sometimes we do it unknowingly to ourselves. We don't know what we're doing when we're out there. I feel like I'm stumbling over my words here, you guys, and I know that I am. But in addition to me, like, trying to dive more into my research for this video over the weekend, I also have been trying to dive into, I guess, how to YouTube better. And I'm kind of going to go off the beaten path for just a minute here, but I want to explain to you why I seem like I'm stumbling over my words, because I don't care if I ever get paid from any of this that I ever do. Honestly, I don't. Because there are plenty of ways that I can go out and get a peer job if I choose to, and get paid, to work in the recovery field and do this YouTube stuff on the side. And that's fine with me. So I'm not looking to start a YouTube channel to get money. That's not my goal with this channel at all. My goal with this channel and any of my social media platforms that I post to is honestly just to help people, because if you've watched any of my videos before, you've probably heard me say this before. So at the risk of repeating myself, I'm going to tell you again, YouTube and some other social media sites were a great comfort to me and a good resource to me in my active addiction and in my early recovery. YouTube is a massive platform and it has great potential to reach a lot of people. So I know that if I do this right, there is a chance that I could potentially be a great help to a lot of people out there. But there is a lot to YouTube, and I don't know a lot about YouTube. I don't know how to do lighting and, the microphone. I mean, I just recorded a whole video today and I'm having to record it again right now because I recorded my whole first video and there's no friggin' sound to it. But anyway, I'm doing all this because I just want to be able to help people. That's my sole purpose for doing these videos. That's all I want to do. I want somebody that is, wondering about something one day. I want them to be able to go and do a search and maybe come across one of my videos and I answer a question for them. So I've realized in doing my YouTube research that if I don't stop saying certain words on my videos, that YouTube is going to like purposely hide my videos. So if I don't stop saying like the names of certain drugs, if I don't stop saying that word that I just said, YouTube will hide my videos and all this will be for nothing. And I hate that, but I don't know any way around it. I'm having to like teach myself to find other way to say things and still get my point across. I just have to teach my brain, my my mouth to be PC so that I can still get my message across to hopefully help people if they come across my videos and still please YouTube gods, so that they will put my videos out there and that people can see them and hopefully I can help somebody because that's all I want to do. Like I said, when I was in active addiction, there was a lot of stuff that I learned the hard way. When I was in recovery, there was a lot of stuff that I learned the hard way. And if I can help somebody else from having to learn things the hard way, like I did, that's all I want to do. And there was a lot of stuff that I've gone through in my life that a lot of other people go through. And if I can help somebody get through that, that would just make me so happy. It would just make me so happy because I've gone through probably 97% of the bad things in my life by myself. White knuckling it, just getting through it until here recently. And by recently, I mean like the last 5-6 years or so. And, if there's a way for me to help somebody else not have to go through that, then I would love to be able to do that. And I really think that YouTube can help me do that. So that's why I'm kind of like stumbling over my words today, and why I put off putting this video up and I didn't put it up last week is because I just wanted to make sure that I had all my ducks in a row is the best way that I can put that, because I didn't, I kind of knew that YouTube was gonna restrict me in some ways, but the more I research it, the more I realize that's just going to be the way it is. So I just am going to have to teach myself to, kind of say things a different way. And I just hope that you guys that are already here with me, just bear with me and stick it out with me. That's what I want. So that's why this video is so friggin' awkward. Just trying to make it fit into the YouTube standards so it doesn't get hidden and it can reach whoever it needs to reach. Yeah. So we talked about ways to avoid it and all that. Now, I did talk about the Narcan earlier, and just real quick, all I want to say about that before I wrap it up is, yes, when you administer Narcan to someone, it does put them in precipitated withdrawals because it completely knocks that opiate off of that receptor in their brain. But just to kind of reiterate it, it doesn't last very long. So that's what I meant earlier in the video when we talked about duration and how long PW lasts. That's what I was talking about when I said 30 minutes. That's the shortest acting medication that I know of that will put you in PW. You guys let me know in the comments if you know anything that I've missed out or what you think about any of the information that I've gotten in here. I love having feedback from you guys. I love hearing from y'all. And I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I think I covered about everything that I wanted to cover in this one. Hopefully it recorded sound so you'll be able to actually hear me this time. When I post on Friday, again, just to remind you real quick, it will be at 3:30, just like this one is. So like this video if you like it. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching and you're not already subscribed, because I see you few that are watching and you're not subscribed yet. Hit the button, join the family. I'd love to have you guys. As always, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Just because somebody smiles doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. So always remember to be nice to each other. As always, my contact information and everything you guys need is listed in my description box below, along with all the links to the articles that I used to research for this video. If you need Narcan or if you need to be trained in how to administer Narcan, please send me an email below. If you need someone to talk to or anything like that, hit me up. All my DMs on my social media are always open. Hit that like button if you guys like this video. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Welcome to the family. I'll see you guys on Friday.